Seojin heard the crying before he saw the basket. At first he thought it was coming from another apartment. A neighbor's television, maybe, turned up too loud at 6:47 in the morning. But when he opened his penthouse door to grab the newspaper, there it was, a basket, woven in patterns he'd never seen in Korea, sitting in a puddle of rainwater outside his door, crying. Not the basket, obviously, but whatever was inside it. Kang Seojun looked left down the hallway. Empty. Looked right. Also empty. His building had security that would make a bank jealous. 3 checkpoints, fingerprint scanners, cameras everywhere. Yet here was a basket, crying on his doorstep like it had every right to be there. He should call someone. Security. Police. His assistant. Anyone who knew how to handle situations that made 0 sense. Instead, he crouched down and pulled back the colorful blanket. A baby looked up at him. Tiny. Maybe 4 months old. Face red and furious from crying. Dark curls plastered to her head from the humidity. Seojin's heart stopped. Actually stopped. Because he'd never seen this baby before. But something about her, something he couldn't name, felt familiar in a way that terrified him. Then he saw the note. Safety pinned to the blanket, written in Swahili and Korean. His eyes went straight to the Korean. Her name is Kamaria. She belongs to both of you. I cannot keep her. Forgive me. The words made no sense. Both of you. He wasn't part of a both. He was single. Deliberately single. His relationships were brief and scheduled and never, ever led to babies on doorsteps. But even as his brain rejected it, a memory surfaced. Unwanted. Undeniable. Kang Seojun stared at it like it might explode, because in his world, things didn't just appear. Everything had a schedule, a reason, a paper trail. But this woven basket sitting outside his door at 6:47 in the morning, made no sense. And it was crying. Not the basket, obviously, but whatever was inside it. A sound so small and desperate that Seojin felt his chest tighten in a way he didn't recognize. He crouched down slowly, his perfectly ironed shirt getting soaked from the rain blowing into the hallway. The apartment building was supposed to be secure. You needed 3 passcodes and a fingerprint just to get to this floor. Yet here was a basket, crying. Seojin pulled back the colorful blanket. A baby. Tiny fists waving. Face red from crying. Maybe 4 months old, for if he had to guess, which he really didn't want to have to guess about something like this. His hand froze halfway to his phone. Call security. Call the police. That was the logical move. But then he saw the note, pinned carefully to the blanket with a safety pin. 2 languages. Swahili, which he recognized but couldn't read, and Korean, which made his blood run cold. Her name is Kamaria. She belongs to both of you. I cannot keep her. Forgive me. Both of you. The baby screamed louder. Seojin did something he had never done in his entire adult life. He panicked. Actually panicked. His hand shook as he picked up the basket, baby and all, and brought it inside. The door clicked shut behind him, and suddenly his quiet, controlled apartment felt like a foreign country. Okay, he whispered to the screaming baby. Okay, just, no, stop. Please stop. Kamaria did not stop. If you're already hooked and want to see where this wild story goes, hit that subscribe button right now, because trust me, this is just the beginning, and you won't believe what happens next. Seojin grabbed his phone with one hand, the other hovering uselessly over the basket. He called his assistant, then his lawyer. Not the police, though. Some instinct he couldn't name told him not to. Not yet. His neighbor, Mrs. Park, from 3 doors down, was heading out for her morning walk when she heard the crying through his door. She knocked, concerned. Mr. Kang, is everything all right? Seojin opened the door a crack. Mrs. Park's eyes went huge. Is that a baby? Yes. Your baby? Seojin's mouth opened, closed. His brain, which managed a company worth billions, completely stalled. I don't know. Mrs. Park pushed her way inside, took one look at crying Kamaria, and immediately started doing things Seojin couldn't even process. She picked the baby up, checked her diaper, made soft clicking sounds, and within 2 minutes, Kamaria quieted to small hiccups. "You don't know if this is your baby." Mrs. Park's tone could cut glass. "It's complicated." "Babies are never complicated, Mr. Kang. They're either yours or they're not." But that was the problem, wasn't it? Seojin stared at the little face, now calm against Mrs. Park's shoulder. He didn't know. The note said she belonged to both of you, but he had no idea who the mother could be. He was careful. Always careful. Relationships were scheduled, brief, and never messy. Except there was that one night, 14 months ago. Nairobi. A business summit that ran late. Local drinks that were stronger than he expected. A rooftop bar. A woman with a laugh that carried across the noise and gold earrings that caught the light every time she moved her head. He left before sunrise. Didn't get her name? No. That was impossible. That was one night in a different country, and this was now. And there had to be some mistake. Mrs. Park handed him the baby. Seojin took her like she was made of glass and explosives. Kamaria looked up at him with dark, serious eyes. Something in his chest cracked. "I need to make some calls," he said quietly. Mrs. Park nodded, gathering her things. "That baby needs formula, diapers, and someone who knows what they're doing. You have 2 hours, Mr. Kang. Then I'm coming back to check." After she left, Seojin sat on his couch, Kamaria sleeping in the basket beside him, and examined every detail. The basket itself was beautiful, woven in zigzag patterns he'd never seen in Korea. The blanket was bright with patterns, geometric and bold. And that note. He turned it over. Nothing else. No name, no phone number, no explanation beyond those few devastating lines. His lawyer arrived first, a sharp woman named Attorney Kim, who looked at the situation and immediately started listing problems. Abandonment laws, paternity tests, police reports, legal liability. "We need to handle this carefully," she said. "If this gets out, if the media catches even a whisper, your company's stock will react. Your board will react." "I don't care about the stock right now." Attorney Kim's eyebrows shot up. Seojin never said things like that. "Find out where this basket came from," Seojin said instead. "There has to be a trail." It took 3 hours and several phone calls, but they found it. A small fabric tag sewn into the basket's inner rim, almost hidden, handwritten in permanent marker. "Asha's Afro Spice Corner, Namdaemun Market, Stall B14. Seojin stood up so fast, he startled Kamaria awake. She started crying again. "I'm going there." "Mr. Kang, wait. We should approach this carefully. Maybe send someone else first. Get information before you." But Seojin was already moving, packing the baby back into her basket with clumsy hands, grabbing his keys. He didn't understand the urgency himself. He should be calm, methodical. Instead, he felt like he was standing on the edge of something and the ground was crumbling. Namdaemun Market was chaos, and Seojin had lived in Seoul his entire life and never once visited this place. It was loud, crowded, full of smells and sounds that overwhelmed his senses. People bargained in 3 different languages. Steam rose from food stalls. Someone's radio played old trot music. He carried Kamaria's basket through the narrow aisles, feeling completely out of place in his black coat and leather shoes. People stared. He didn't care. Stall B14 was closed. The metal shutters were down and locked. A handwritten sign in Korean said, "Closed temporarily. Sorry for inconvenience." Seojin's heart sank. The woman running the next stall, selling kitchen supplies, noticed him staring. "You looking for Asha?" "Yes." "Do you know when she'll be back?" The woman's face softened with concern. "She's at the hospital. Had an accident 2 days ago. Cut her hand pretty bad on a broken crate. Her sister was supposed to watch the baby, but..." She glanced at the basket Seojin was carrying, and her eyes went wide. Oh. Oh no. Is that Kamaria? Everything clicked into place and fell apart at the same time. Which hospital? Severance, but wait. Who are you? Why do you have… Seojin was already running. He drove across Seoul with a screaming baby in the back seat. No car seat, because he didn't own one, breaking probably 6 traffic laws. Kamaria cried the entire way. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tight they hurt. Severance Hospital's parking lot was full. Seojin left his car in a no-parking zone and didn't care. He carried the basket inside, asked for patient information, got strange looks from everyone. Room 412? Discharged an hour ago. No. Seojin stood in the empty hospital room and wanted to punch something. He'd missed her. By 1 hour, his phone buzzed. Attorney Kim. He ignored it. Kamaria whimpered. Softer now, like even she was tired of crying. Seojin looked down at her and felt that crack in his chest widen. This tiny person didn't ask for any of this. Didn't ask to be left in a basket, carried around Seoul by a stranger, caught in the middle of something she couldn't understand. I'll find her, he promised quietly. I'll find your mom. A nurse walked past, then stopped, backtracking. Excuse me, did you just say Kamaria? Seojin turned. Yes. Do you know her? There was a woman. She was just discharged from post-op. She was frantic on the phone. I heard her say that name. She went down to the main entrance maybe 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes. Seojin ran again. The main entrance was crowded with people coming and going. He scanned faces, desperate, not even sure what he was looking for. Someone who looked like they belonged to this basket. Someone who looked Kenyan, maybe. Someone who looked like they were missing a baby. Then he saw her. Standing near the taxi stand, phone pressed to her ear, speaking rapid Swahili. Her other hand was bandaged. She wore simple jeans and a bright, patterned top. Her hair was pulled back in a wrap, and her earrings, small hoops, caught the afternoon light. Seojin's breath stopped. Gold earrings. A rooftop in Nairobi. That laugh. She turned, still talking on the phone, and her eyes met his across the crowd. Everything stopped. Her phone slipped from her hand, clattered on the pavement. She stared at him with an expression that cycled through shock, recognition, anger, and something desperate, all in 3 seconds. You, she breathed. Seojin couldn't move, couldn't speak. Because he remembered now. He remembered everything. The way she'd smiled at his terrible joke about the stars. The way she'd called him out for being too serious. The way she'd kissed him first, confident and warm. The way he'd left without even asking her name because he was a coward who didn't know how to be anything other than controlled. Asha's eyes dropped to the basket in his hands. She made a sound, something broken and relieved, and rushed forward. Kamaria, oh my God, Kamaria. She took the basket from him, pulled the baby out, held her close, checking her over with shaking hands. You're okay. You're okay. Mama's here. Kamaria grabbed at her mother's face and made a happy gurgling sound. Seojin stood there, feeling like his entire world had shifted 3 feet to the left. This was her. This was the woman from Nairobi. This was Kamaria's mother. This was real. Asha looked up at him, tears on her face but her voice hard. Where did you find her? Who left her with you? Where's my sister? I don't know. She was on my doorstep this morning. There was just a note. Your doorstep. Asha's jaw tightened. Zawadi. Oh God. She must have panicked when I got hurt. She must have. I told her not to. I never wanted. She broke off, pressing her face against Kamaria's head. I never wanted this. Can we talk? Seojin managed. Please. There's a cafe. I don't want to talk to you. I want to find my sister and go home. Your sister left our daughter on my doorstep with a note saying she belongs to both of us. I think we need to talk. Our daughter. The words hung in the air between them. Asha's eyes flashed. Don't do that. You don't get to show up after 14 months and say anything. She was right. Seojin knew she was right, but he also knew they were standing in front of a hospital with a baby and a lot of people staring, and this needed to happen somewhere private. "Please," he said again. "One conversation." Asha looked at him for a long moment. Kamaria yawned against her shoulder. Finally, Asha nodded once, sharp and reluctant. They found a quiet cafe 2 blocks away, sat across from each other. While Seojin ordered tea neither of them would drink. Asha held Kamaria the entire time, like she was afraid someone would take her again. The baby was content now, playing with her mother's necklace. "Talk," Asha said. So Seojin explained. The basket, the note, the panic, the search, everything that led him to this moment. When he finished, Asha was quiet for a long time. Then she started her story. She came to Seoul 11 months ago. Her sister Zawadi had been here for 2 years, working, building a life. Asha joined her with plans to start a small business, importing African foods and spices that the growing expat community needed. She found out she was pregnant 2 months after arriving. "I didn't know how to find you," she said, not looking at him. "I didn't know your name, didn't know what company you worked for. You were just some guy at a summit who bought me drinks and talked about stars." Seojin flinched. "I managed," Asha continued. "I built my stall, saved money, had Kamaria. Zawadi helped when she could. It was hard, but it was mine, you know? I didn't need rescue. Then I had the accident. Cut my hand open, needed surgery, couldn't hold Kamaria properly for a few days. Zawadi was watching her. I guess she got scared. Started thinking about what would happen if something worse happened to me. Started looking online for any trace of you based on what little I'd told her about that night." She finally looked at him. "She found you. CEO Kang Seojun. Big company, big building. She thought she was helping." "I'm sorry," Seojin said. "For what? For leaving? For not asking my name? For building a whole life while I was figuring out how to raise our daughter alone?" Every word hit like a stone. Seojin deserved all of them. "All of it," he said quietly. "I'm sorry for all of it." Asha's expression flickered, like she wanted to stay angry but was too tired. Seojin pulled out the papers Attorney Kim had prepared. Child support, medical coverage, housing assistance. Everything practical and cold and completely wrong for this moment. He slid them across the table anyway. "I want to take responsibility. Whatever you need. Money, resources, help with. I don't need your money. Kamaria deserves a father who wants her, not one who showed up because my sister made a desperate choice." The words were meant to hurt. They did. "That's not fair," Seojin said carefully. "Nah, I didn't know she existed until this morning. You can't blame me for not being there when you never told me." "You're right." Asha stood up, adjusting Kamaria against her hip. "I can't. But I also don't have to let you fix this with paperwork and bank transfers. I'm not a problem to solve, Mr. Kang." She left. Seojin sat there with cold tea and legal documents, and the strange feeling that he'd just lost something important he didn't know he had. 3 days passed. Seojin tried to focus on work, failed. His assistant noticed. His brother noticed. The entire executive team probably noticed that their normally punctual, focused CEO kept staring out the windows and missing meeting details. He drove to Namdaemun Market on Thursday afternoon, told himself it was just a check, just to make sure she was okay. Then stall B14 was open. Asha stood behind a table covered in spices, grains, and colorful packages with labels in English and Swahili. She was laughing with a customer, her bandaged hand moving carefully as she measured out beans into a paper bag. Kamaria sat in a carrier strapped to her back, awake and looking around with curious eyes. Seojin watched from a distance. This was her world, bright and warm, and nothing like his. Then Asha looked up and saw him. Her smile faded. She said something to the customer, finished the transaction, and waited. Seojin approached slowly, feeling like an intruder. "Hi," he said. Brilliant. Very smooth. "Are you here to buy something or just stare?" "I brought papers. Legal acknowledgement of paternity. Child support structure. You don't have to sign anything now. Just look them over. To make sure it's fair." He held out the folder. Asha didn't take it. "I told you I don't want your money. And I told you Kamaria deserves support. This isn't about you or me. It's about her." A customer approached, interested in the coconut flour. Asha served them without looking at Seojin. He stood there awkwardly, still holding the folder. When the customer left, Asha finally sighed. "Put it down. I'll look at it later." Seojin set the folder on the corner of her table, started to leave. Stopped. "What does she eat?" he asked suddenly. Asha blinked. "What?" "Kamaria. What does she eat?" "She's 4 months old. She drinks milk." "Oh, right." Seojin felt stupid. "And you? What do you eat?" Asha stared at him like he'd grown a second head. "Why do you care what I eat?" "I don't know. I just font." Something in her expression shifted, softened slightly. "Ugali, Sukuma wiki, githeri, things you wouldn't recognize. Teach me." "What?" "Teach me. What they are. I want to know." Asha studied his face, looking for something. "Why are you really here, Mr. Kang?" Seojin didn't have a good answer. "I don't know," he admitted. "I keep thinking I should stay away, let you live your life. But then I just end up here." Behind Asha, Kamaria made a small sound. Asha reached back automatically, adjusting the carrier, and Seojin caught a glimpse of his daughter's face. She was looking right at him. His heart did something painful. "You can visit," Asha said quietly. "If you want." "To see her?" "Not. We're not. But she should know you. Eventually." It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't even close to okay. But it was something. "No, thank you," Seojin said. He left before he could say something stupid, before he could notice how Asha's hair caught the afternoon light, or how her laugh sounded when she talked to the next customer. But he came back Saturday. This time he bought things. Kenyan tea blend, because the package looked interesting. Dried lentils because Asha mentioned them. Pilipili spice that she had to explain 3 times before he understood. It was just chili. "You're not going to use any of this," Asha said, amused despite herself. "Maybe I will. You don't even cook." "How do you know I don't cook?" She gave him a look. "Do you?" "No," Seojin admitted. "But I could learn." Asha laughed. Actually laughed. The sound hit him like the night in Nairobi, unexpected and warm. He kept coming back. Tuesday, so he brought premium baby formula. Too expensive. Imported. Probably unnecessary. Asha tried to refuse, but he left it anyway, tucked behind her stall before she could argue. Friday, he just sat, ordered tea from the stall next door, watched the market move around them. Asha worked, occasionally glancing at him like she was trying to figure out a puzzle. "Why do you keep coming here?" she asked finally. Seojin looked at her, at Kamaria sleeping against her back, at the life she'd built from nothing while he was in his office managing quarterly reports. "I don't know," he said. Which was a lie. He knew exactly why. "We're about to hit the midpoint of this story, and things are about to get crazy. If you're invested in Seojin and Asha's journey, drop a comment telling me what you think will happen next. I love reading your predictions." It was going well. Too well, maybe. Then everything exploded. A photographer caught them. Seojin didn't even notice the guy, hidden behind a vegetable stall with a long lens. But someone noticed. Someone always noticed. The photo hit online Monday morning. CEO Kang Seojin at a market stall, holding a baby. The baby's face wasn't clear, but his was. And so was Asha's, standing next to him, mid-laugh at something he'd said. The headline read, CEO Kang's Secret Family. Seojin's phone started ringing at 6 a.m. His brother, his assistant, 3 different board members, the PR team, everyone panicking at once. By 9 a.m., there were more photos, different angles. Seojin helping Asha pack up her stall. Seojin buying spices. Seojin looking at Asha like he was looking at her. The internet did what it does best. On speculation, rumors, wild theories. Some defended him. Most didn't. And the comments about Asha, those made Seojin's blood boil. Gold digger. Trap. She planned this. Send her back. Things worse than that, things he couldn't read without wanting to throw his phone. He called her immediately. She didn't answer. He drove to the market. Her stall was closed, shutters down. The vendor next door said Asha came in early, saw the reporters waiting, and left. Seojin's chest tightened with guilt. His office called an emergency board meeting. Seojin sat at the head of the table while 12 people talked about damage control like his life was a PR problem. His older brother Kang Minho ran the meeting. We need a statement. Clear. Direct. Acknowledge the child. Offer private support. But distance the company from controversy. Distance, Seojin repeated flatly. You know what I mean. This woman, Asha, look, I'm sure she's nice, but the optics are terrible. Foreign, market vendor, no relationship. It looks bad. It looks bad, Seojin said, his voice dropping to something dangerous. Or she looks bad to you. Minho hesitated. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? Attorney Kim jumped in, ever practical. Mr. Kang, your brother is trying to protect the company. And you. The stock already dropped 2% this morning. Investors are nervous. We need to control this narrative before it controls us. She slid papers across the table. Seojin didn't need to read them to know what they said. Deny paternity publicly. Offer private settlement. Make it go away. No, he said. Seojin, be reasonable, Minho started. I said no. You're letting emotion cloud your judgment. Think about what Dad built. What we've spent 10 years growing. One scandal, one bad quarter, and we lose investor confidence. Is that really worth it for a woman you spent one night with? Seojin stood up. The room went quiet. Her name is Asha. My daughter's name is Kamaria. And I'm not signing anything that pretends they don't exist. Then what exactly are you going to do? Minho challenged. Seojin looked at his brother, at the board members, at Attorney Kim with her damage control documents, at the life he'd built that suddenly felt small and cold. I don't know yet, he admitted, but not this. He walked out. His phone buzzed before he even reached his office. Messages, emails, news alerts. The story was growing, twisting, becoming something ugly. Then one message made him stop cold. From Asha, don't come to the market, don't call. You've done enough. His hands shook as he typed a response. I'm sorry. Let me fix this. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. You can't fix this. This is my life now. Reporters at my stall. Comments calling me names I won't repeat. My sister crying because she blames herself. You gotta go back to your office. I have to live here. Seojin leaned against the wall and closed his eyes. She was right. He could retreat to his building, his lawyers, his controlled world. Asha was exposed, vulnerable, dealing with consequences of a choice she didn't even make. He'd left her once before, walked away without looking back. He wasn't doing that again. Seojin opened his eyes and started making calls. First call was to his PR team, not for damage control, for truth. I want a statement released. My words, not yours. I'm acknowledging Kamaria as my daughter, publicly. The PR director sputtered. Mr. Kang, that's not, we haven't strategized. The board hasn't approved. I don't need approval to tell the truth. Draft it. Send it to me in an hour. Second call was to his head of security. I need someone at Namdamun Market, stall B14. Keep reporters away. Don't bother the owner, just make sure she can work in peace. Third call was to a number he'd been holding on to for days. Asha's sister, Zawadi. She'd left her contact info with the note, probably in case of emergency. She answered on the first ring. Hello? This is Kang Seojin. We need to talk. Zawadi's breath hitched. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I panicked. And I thought you should know. And I never wanted Asha to get hurt. Stop. I'm not angry. I need your help. Silence. The media is making your sister's life hell right now, Seojin continued. I'm going to fix it. But I need to know what she needs. Really needs. Not what I think she needs. Zawadi was quiet for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice was steadier. She needs people to stop treating her like a scandal. She needs her business to survive this. She needs Kamaria safe. And she needs, I don't know if you can help with this part, but she needs to not feel like she's fighting alone anymore. Something in Seojin's chest pulled tight. Okay, I can do that. Can you, though? Because Asha, she's strong, but she's been hurt before. Not by you, before she even met you. She doesn't trust easy, and you already left her once. The words stung because they were true. I know, Seojin said quietly. I'm not leaving again. He meant it. He just had to figure out how to prove it. The PR statement went out at 2 p.m. Simple, direct, no apologies for the truth. Kamaria is my daughter. I acknowledge this fully and happily. Her mother, Asha, is a hardworking businesswoman who built her life independently. I regret that my previous absence caused her to carry this responsibility alone. Going forward, I will be present in my daughter's life. I ask that the media respect their privacy during this time. The internet exploded again. But differently this time. Some people appreciated the honesty, and others thought he was being reckless. His company's stock dropped another point. 3 board members called emergency meetings. Seojin ignored all of it and drove to Namdaemun Market. Security had done their job. The reporters were gone, kept at a respectful distance. Asha's stall was open but quiet. Not many customers, probably scared off by the morning chaos. Asha saw him coming. Her jaw tightened. I told you not to come. I know. I'm bad at following directions. This isn't funny, Seojin. Do you see any customers? This is my income. My life. And it's disappearing because of you. She wasn't wrong. The usual afternoon crowd was gone. Just a few curious onlookers, and one old lady who looked at Seojin like he was some kind of celebrity. Kamaria was in her carrier again, fussing slightly. Asha bounced automatically, and the movement so natural she probably didn't notice herself doing it. I released a statement, Seojin said, acknowledging Kamaria, publicly. Asha's eyes widened. You what? I told the truth, that she's my daughter, that you built your life without me, that I'm not hiding anymore. You're not. Do you understand what you just did? Your company, your reputation, I don't care. You should care. This is your life, and you're in my life now. Both of you. So this is what caring looks like. Asha stared at him. Behind her, an old vendor was absolutely not eavesdropping while pretending to organize vegetables. I have security keeping the reporters back, Seojin continued. Not forever, just until this calms down. And I want to help with your business. Not a handout, he added quickly, seeing her expression. A partnership. My company does tea and wellness products. You have spices and authentic ingredients. We could collaborate. You're trying to fix this with a business deal? I'm trying to fix this with the only skills I have. I'm not good at the other stuff, the emotional stuff. But business? I can do business? Asha laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. You really don't get it. Then explain it to me. I don't want a business partner, Seojin. I don't want security guards. I don't want PR statements. I want my normal life back. The one where I sell spices and raise my daughter and nobody calls me names on the internet. I can't give you that. I'm sorry. But I can try to make the new normal better. By throwing money at it? By being here. Consistently, not just when it's convenient. Kamaria let out a sharp cry. Asha reached back, soothing her, but the baby was working herself up. Tired, probably, or overwhelmed by the tension. Let me hold her, Seojin said. What? You're working. I'm here. Let me help. Asha hesitated, then slowly took Kamaria out of the carrier and handed her over. The baby felt so small in Seojin's arms. She looked up at him with big eyes, lower lip trembling like she might cry. Hey, he said softly. It's okay. Well, I don't know what I am to you yet. But I'm trying. Kamaria grabbed his tie, pulled hard. Asha snorted. She has opinions about your fashion choices, apparently. A customer approached, an older African woman who greeted Asha in what sounded like Swahili. They talked rapidly, laughing, and Asha bagged up several items. The woman glanced at Seojin. It said something that made Asha's cheeks darken, then left with a knowing smile. What did she say? Seojin asked. Nothing important. Asha, she sighed. She said you look at me like her husband looked at her, before he figured out how to use words properly. Seojin didn't know what to do with that information. Kamaria saved him by yawning hugely and settling against his chest. They stayed like that for an hour. Asha working, Seojin holding Kamaria, the market moving around them. It felt strange and normal at the same time. When the sun started setting and Asha began packing up, Seojin helped. One-handed, since Kamaria had fallen asleep, and he was terrified to move her. You're going to spoil her, Asha said, watching him cradle their daughter like she was made of clouds. Not good. Seojun. She's 4 months old and I've already missed so much. Let me spoil her a little. Asha's expression went soft, dangerous, like maybe her walls were cracking too. Then her phone rang. She answered, listened, and her face went pale. What? When? Is she okay? Seojun straightened, alert. What's wrong? Asha hung up, already moving. Zawadi, she collapsed at work. They're taking her to the hospital. Can you watch Kamaria? Just for a few hours, I'll drive you, both of us. You don't have to. Asha, get in the car. She did. They drove across Seoul in tense silence. Kamaria woke up, cried, calmed when Asha sang something soft in Swahili. Seojin broke at least 4 traffic laws getting to the hospital. Zawadi was in the emergency room. Dehydration and exhaustion, the doctor said. She'd been working double shifts, not eating properly, stressed about everything with Kamaria and Asha, and the guilt she'd been carrying. Can I see her? Asha asked. The nurse nodded. Family only, though. Asha glanced at Seojun. He started to step back, give them space, but Asha grabbed his sleeve. Come with me. So he did. Zawadi looked small in the hospital bed, 24 years old, and utterly exhausted. When she saw Asha, she started crying. I'm so sorry. I ruined everything. Your business, your privacy. I didn't know what else to do. Stop, Asha said firmly, sitting on the edge of the bed. You were trying to protect us. I'm not angry. You should be. Well, I'm not. I'm worried about you. When did you last eat a real meal? Zawadi couldn't answer. Seojin stayed by the door, then holding Kamaria, watching the sisters talk in a mix of Korean and Swahili. Family. This was what family looked like, messy and worried and holding each other together. Eventually, Zawadi's eyes drifted to him. You came. Of course. Are you going to take Kamaria? Legally, I mean. Asha won't say it, but she's scared you'll. I'm not taking anyone anywhere, Seojin interrupted gently. Kamaria belongs with her mother. I just want to be part of her life. If Asha lets me. Both sisters looked at Asha. She kept her eyes on Kamaria, not answering. The doctor came back with instructions. Zawadi needed rest, fluids, less stress. They wanted to keep her overnight for observation. I'll stay, Asha said immediately. You have the stall in the morning, Zawadi protested. I don't care about the stall right now. I'll handle the stall, Seojin said. Both women stared at him. What? You don't know how to run a spice stall, Asha said slowly, like explaining to a child. So teach me. Tonight. Write down what I need to do. I'll open in the morning. You're a CEO. You can't just, watch me. Asha looked like she wanted to argue, but Zawadi was exhausted, and Kamaria needed care. And sometimes, you had to accept help, even when pride said not to. Fine, Asha said finally. But if you burn down my stall, I'll rebuild it. Better. That night, in the hospital cafeteria, Asha wrote instructions on napkins, how to measure spices, what prices to charge, which customers had standing orders, how to handle the money box. Seojun memorized every word like it was a crucial business presentation. Kamaria sat between them in her carrier, making small noises and grabbing at anything shiny. She likes you, Asha observed. She has good taste. Or low standards. Seojun smiled. Maybe both. They stayed until visiting hours ended. Seojun drove Asha and Kamaria back to their apartment, a small place in Yeongdongpo that Asha clearly didn't want him to see. But she was too tired to argue. Thank you, she said quietly, unbuckling Kamaria from the car seat Seojun had bought and installed that afternoon. For today. For helping with Zawadi. For not, I don't know, being terrible. The bar is very low, Seojun noted. Yes, and somehow you're still tripping over it half the time. But she smiled when she said it. Seojun watched her carry Kamaria inside, waited until the lights turned on in what must be their apartment, then drove home, feeling like something had shifted. The next morning, he opened Asha's stall at 7 a.m. It went terribly. First customer asked for sakuma seeds. Seojun had no idea what those were. He guessed wrong. The customer corrected him with the patience of a grandmother teaching a slow child. Second customer wanted Berber spice mix. Seojun measured it out, forgot to tear the scale, gave her way too much. She looked delighted. He probably lost money on that sale. Third customer took one look at him in his rolled-up sleeves and expensive watch and laughed so hard she had to sit down. CEO Kong selling spices. I've seen everything now. Word spread fast. By 9 a.m., the stall was packed. Not all genuine customers. Some just wanted to see the spectacle, but Seojun didn't care. He measured, bagged, took money, made change. Got better as the morning went on. A food blogger took photos. Those went viral immediately. CEO Kong's market redemption arc trended on social media. His phone buzzed constantly. His assistant, his brother. Board members losing their minds. Seojun ignored all of it. Around 11, Asha showed up. She stopped at the edge of the stall, staring. Seojun had a line of 5 people waiting. He was measuring out lentils for an elderly Korean man who was very particular about weight. Little more, the man instructed. Little more. Good. Perfect. Seojun bagged it up, took payment, bowed politely. Next customer. When the rush finally cleared, Asha approached. You're actually doing it. I said I would. You measured the Berber wrong for Mrs. Okafor. She texted me laughing. I'm learning. You gave Mr. Kim a 20% discount by accident. Did I? And you're trending online again. This time because you look, and I quote, adorably confused while holding a bag of teff flour. Seojun looked down at the teff flour in his hands. Is this not teff flour? That's coconut flour? Oh. Asha laughed. Really laughed, the sound filling the market stall. Other vendors glanced over, smiling. Where's Kamaria? Seojun asked. With Mrs. Park, your neighbor. She showed up at my apartment this morning with baby supplies and an offer to help. Said you called her. I thought you might need backup, with Zawadi in the hospital. Something in Asha's eyes went warm. Well, you're actually trying. I told you I would. People say things all the time. Doesn't mean they follow through. I'm not people. No, Asha agreed quietly. You're really not. They worked the stall together the rest of the day. Asha correcting his mistakes, Seojun learning fast. Customers loved it. Sales were actually up, probably because of the novelty. When evening came and they packed up, Asha counted the cash box and looked surprised. We did well today. We make a good team. She glanced at him. Don't let it go to your head. But she was smiling. Over the next 2 weeks, something settled between them. A routine. Seojin came to the market every morning, helped with the stall, learned about spices and customers and the rhythm of this world so different from his own. He held Kamaria while Asha worked, fed her bottles, changed diapers with increasing competence. His company dealt with the board drama without him. His brother called it irresponsible. Seojin called it priorities. Zawadi recovered and came back, tearful and apologetic and determined to help. The three of them, plus Kamaria, became a strange little unit. Then the board called a final meeting. Mandatory attendance, no exceptions. Seojun knew what it meant. Decision time. The company or this new life. His carefully built world or the messy, complicated, beautiful thing growing between him and Asha. He sat in the boardroom 3 days later, 12 people staring at him with various levels of frustration. Attorney Kim laid out the situation. Stock still down, investors nervous, competitors using the scandal to poach clients. The company needed stability. We're not asking you to abandon your daughter, Minho said carefully. Just to separate your personal life from the business. Step back from the public relationship. Support them privately. You want me to hide them? We want you to protect what our father built. Seojin looked at his brother, at the board members, at the papers in front of him that would make all of this go away, at least publicly. He thought about Asha's laugh, Kamaria's tiny hand wrapped around his finger, the way the market smelled like spices and possibility, the way he felt when he was with them, like he was finally living instead of just managing. No, he said, Seojin, be reasonable. I've been reasonable my entire life. I've followed every rule, met every expectation, built everything you asked me to build. And I was miserable. I didn't even know I was miserable until I met her. Minho's expression tightened. Her. You mean the woman you knew for one night 14 months ago? I mean the woman raising my daughter. The woman who built a business from nothing. The woman who's stronger and braver than anyone in this room. You're thinking with your heart, not your head. Good. Maybe it's about time. Attorney Kim tried diplomacy. Mr. Kang, what exactly are you proposing? Seojin stood up, looked at each person around the table. I'm proposing you trust me. I built this company into what it is. I can navigate this too. But I'm not hiding Asha. I'm not pretending Kamaria doesn't exist. If the stock drops, we'll recover. If investors leave, we'll find new ones. But I'm not walking away from my family again. Family. The word hung in the air. Why, and if the board votes no confidence? One of the older members asked. Then I guess you'll need a new CEO. He walked out. His phone rang before he even reached the elevator. Minho, you're serious. You'd actually walk away from the company. If that's what it takes. For a woman you barely know. I know her better than you think, and I know I don't want to be the person I was before I met her. Silence. Then quieter. Dad wouldn't have approved. Maybe not. But Dad also worked himself to death and barely knew his own sons. I don't want that life. More silence. The board will vote, Minho said finally. I don't know which way it'll go. I know. Seojun hung up and drove straight to Namdamun Market. It was late evening. Most stalls were closed, but Asha's light was still on. But he found her doing inventory, Kamaria asleep in a portable crib beside her. Asha looked up, surprised. Seojun, what are you doing here? I just walked out of a board meeting. What? Why? They wanted me to choose, the company or you. Asha went very still. And? I chose you. Both of you. She stared at him. That's insane. You can't just walk away from your entire career for what? Say it. For us. For this. You barely know me, Seojin. We had one night over a year ago and a few weeks of shared babysitting. That's not enough to give up everything for. Then let it be enough. Let me get to know you. Really know you. Not just as Kamaria's mother. As you. Asha's hands trembled slightly. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in my life. Your company, your reputation, I don't care. You should care. Why? Why does everyone keep telling me what I should care about? I care about you, Asha. I care that you smile when customers get excited about your spices. I care that you sing to Kamaria in Swahili when you think no one's listening. I care that you're stubborn and strong, and you've never once asked me for anything even when you should have. Asha's eyes filled with tears. Stop. No. I'm done stopping. I'm done walking away. I left you once because I was a coward who didn't know how to be anything but controlled. I'm not leaving again. Seo-jun. I was in Nairobi on a Tuesday. You were wearing gold earrings. You laughed at my terrible joke about stars. You kissed me first. You told me I was too serious. You were right. I am too serious. But with you, I'm not. With you, I'm just myself. And I like that person better. A tear slipped down Asha's cheek. This is crazy. Probably. You could lose everything. I already lost you once. That was worse. Asha let out a shaky breath. Kamaria stirred in her sleep but didn't wake. What are you asking me? Asha whispered. I'm asking you to let me stay. Let me be part of this. Not as Kamaria's father checking boxes. As someone who wants to know how you take your tea and what makes you laugh and what you dream about at 3 a.m. I dream about stable income and health insurance, Asha said, half laughing, half crying. I can help with both of those. Not the point. Then what is the point? She looked at him, really looked at him. The point is, you scare me. This scares me. I've been on my own so long and I'm good at it. But you show up and suddenly I'm not on my own anymore, and that's terrifying. Why? Because what if you leave again? What if this is just guilt or obligation or some midlife crisis? What if I let myself need you, and you decide this was all a mistake? Seo-jun stepped closer. I can't promise I'll be perfect. I'm learning all of this as I go. But I can promise I'm not leaving. Not tomorrow, not next month. Not when this gets hard. And it will get hard. How do you know? Because I remember what it felt like to walk away from you in Nairobi, and I never want to feel that way again. Asha closed her eyes. You can't just say things like that. Why not? Because I might believe you. Good. Believe me. When she opened her eyes again, they were bright with tears, and something that looked like hope. I don't know how to do this, she admitted. Neither do I. We'll figure it out together. That's a terrible plan. You have a better one? Asha laughed, the sound watery but real. No, I really don't. Seo-jun reached for her hand. She let him take it. So? He asked quietly. So, Asha said. Don't make me regret this. I'll do my best. She pulled him closer, standing on her toes. You left before sunrise last time. I remember. Don't do that again. I won't. She kissed him. Soft and careful, and full of all the things neither of them knew how to say yet. Kamaria made a small sound. They broke apart, laughing quietly. She has terrible timing, Asha murmured. She's my daughter. Of course she does. They stood there in the small market stall, holding hands, while their daughter slept and Soul moved around them outside. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a neat solution. But it was real. And real, Seo-jun was learning, was so much better than controlled. The board voted 3 days later, 8-4 in favor of keeping Seo-jun as CEO, conditional on him maintaining company performance and managing his public image better. It wasn't a full victory, but it was enough. Minho called afterward. You got lucky. I know. Don't make me regret defending you. You defended me. A pause. You're my brother, and you looked happier in those market photos than I've seen you in 10 years. So yeah, I defended you. Seo-jun didn't know what to say to that. Just don't screw it up, Minho added. Either the company or the girl. Her name is Asha. I know. Bring her to family dinner sometime. Mom's been asking. The call ended before Seo-jun could process that statement. Things shifted after that. Slowly, then all at once. Seojin's company launched a collaboration with Asha's business. Traditional Korean wellness blends mixed with African spices. It was weird. It was unexpected. Customers loved it. Asha's stall expanded, not into something corporate and cold, but into something bigger and still hers. She hired 2 part-time workers, started supplying 3 restaurants, taught cooking classes on weekends. Seojin split his time between his office and the market. His assistant learned to schedule around both. The board stopped complaining when the Fusion product line exceeded first-quarter projections by 30%. Kamaria grew, started sitting up, and said something that might have been dada or might have been gas. Both Seojin and Asha chose to believe it was a word, and they, Seojin and Asha, figured it out. Not perfectly. They argued about money and pride and whose turn it was to wake up with the baby. But they also laughed. They also learned each other. They also built something neither of them planned, but both of them needed. 6 months later, Seojin stood on his penthouse rooftop with Asha and Kamaria. The baby was sitting now, grabbing at everything, absolutely fearless. She's going to be a handful, Asha observed. She gets it from you. Excuse me, she gets her stubborn streak from you. I'm not stubborn. I'm determined. That's the same thing. No. Stubborn is refusing to let me buy you a new inventory system when yours is literally from 2010. Asha laughed. It works fine. It crashes every other day. Character building. Seojin pulled her closer, careful not to disturb Kamaria, who was fascinated by the city lights below. Remember Nairobi? He asked. Hard to forget. You said the stars were the same everywhere. They are. I thought you were being poetic. Now I think you were being literal. Maybe both. Asha tilted her head back, looking at the sky. Why? Because I looked at stars for 35 years and never really saw them. Then I met you, and suddenly everything looked different. That's very poetic for someone who deals in quarterly reports. You bring it out in me, Kamaria babbled loudly, demanding attention. They both looked down at her, and she grinned, proud of herself. What do you think she's saying? Asha wondered. Probably something about how her parents are ridiculous. She's not wrong. Seojin kissed the top of Asha's head. No, she's really not. They stayed there until Kamaria got tired, then went inside, to the home they were building together, messy and unexpected, and absolutely right. Later, after Kamaria was asleep and Asha was going through inventory lists on the couch, Seojin watched her from the kitchen. She looked up, caught him staring. What? Nothing. Just, I'm glad your sister left Kamaria on my doorstep. That's a weird thing to be glad about. I know. But I am, because otherwise I might have spent my whole life not knowing what I was missing. Asha set down her tablet. And what were you missing? This. You. All of it. She smiled, the one that still made his heart skip. Come here. He did. You're getting better at the not leaving thing, she said. I have good motivation. Oh? What's that? He kissed her instead of answering. Some things didn't need words. Outside, Seoul glittered under the same stars that hung over Nairobi. The same stars that watched a one-night chance become something neither of them planned. Inside, a baby slept in a crib that used to be a basket. A family formed from an accident and a note, and 2 people brave enough to try. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better. It was real. If you made it this far, thank you for going on this journey with Seojin and Asha. Their story proves that sometimes the best things in life are the ones we never saw coming. If this story touched your heart, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me what part made you smile. I love hearing from you, and your support means everything. Until the next story, remember that love doesn't always make sense, but that doesn't make it any less real.